Hello? They should be able to hear us, but I don't know why they can't see us.
Uh-oh. Oh, I see us.
Really? I don't see us.
Oh, I see. Like, our videos, for some reason, aren't there.
Yeah.
I saw the transition, but I didn't... Uh-oh. We're back to where we used to be. Just hidden from everybody.
Oh, I know why. Wait. Let me work my magic. Boom.
Technical difficulties, folks, but please stay with us because we're going to be talking about all the fun stuff that you see down there on the current topics page below.
We're back.
Okay, we're back.
Hi. King of Anime Podcast. Myself, Sasuke the Savage. Everything animated. What is good with everybody?
Yeah, hey everybody. Hopefully everybody is here and joining the stream. And if you're new, remember to subscribe. We are 10 away from reaching 500. It is a milestone that we are looking to get. We would love to get this channel monetized. We are so close. And, you know, all you regular guys, Decrepit Storm, QRW6, if you know anybody that might be interested, hey, share it out. Spread the word. Tell them, get your ass. Subscribe to this channel because you don't know what you're missing.
Yeah. Tell your friends, tell your dad, your mom, your grandma, uncle, even that cousin that stole $10 from you in your past.
Right. The guy that owes you money, especially tell him. He'll think that it'll be a threat for the 100th time, but instead, the link to subscribe to our channel.
I got some for you.
Do that.
It's just the KOA podcast.
They're like, no, please. Oh. Okay.
Huh. That's not too bad. But yeah, man. We're here. We're in Super Bowl week. Last week of football and whatnot. So that'll be one major sport that we won't have to mention on the podcast again for some months on end.
Yeah, I ain't mentioning it at all. Like I said, this may be the first Super Bowl I skip. I swear to God. I mean, I'll watch. You know, the opening presentation. See the grandiose, just giant. Ooh, look at it! It's the Super Bowl. Maybe even see Usher because my girlfriend wants to see the halftime show. But other than that, I don't care for any team.
The Usher halftime show should be pretty great. Just for me, Usher. I mean, because last time it was Rihanna, I believe, and I like Rihanna,
and she was pregnant.
Yeah, I like Rihanna, but I'm more of a fan of Usher. I just can't imagine how it'd be if he like performed "Let It Burn" or one of those songs like that. Like, I think he would really have that stadium live. Not to say Rihanna, you know, Rihanna's a mega superstar, bigger than Usher, really. But for me personally, I'm more of a fan of Usher, so I'm definitely looking forward to that show.
My girlfriend wants him to play Lovers and Friends live because she loves the part with Little John when he does his part, you know, "Cause you'll always be a friend of me, Shawty."
Shawty.
She does that word for word every time that song comes on.
I mean, if he does have Lil Jon there, he could also perform, because that's another one of his big songs with Lil Jon.
That would be awesome.
He has an amazing catalog, so, you know, living legend. So, that should be fun. But I hope you're ready, EA, because we're going to get into KOA news. We're going to get right into it. A couple of things to talk about. So,
oh yes, I am most certainly ready because, as we like to say here at KOA, we got stuff that won't ever give you the blues. Get ready for the KOA news.
All right, so first thing that we have on the agenda is Japan cracking down on manga leakers. Two people were arrested for leaking manga before its publication. I mean, that's what leaks are. So I've already seen some of the translation teams say that they're going to they're going to dial back releasing chapters early as they do. Because if you're not in the whole manga scene, specifically with Shonen Jump manga, because this is where it's really rampant. For the more obscure manga, this isn't really much of an issue. But for manga like One Piece, Jujutsu Kaisen, My Hero Academia, series like this, you'll see on Twitter early releases for the chapters. You'll see spoilers for the chapters, and I mean like text spoilers. You'll even see just like raw versions of the manga where it's not even translated, Japanese text. Sometimes the paper looked like it was just littered with sandpaper. They was going through sandpaper, like they just scanned it and they ran away really quickly.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the quality sometimes looks bad, but
imagine how that would be if you're like, I don't know, in Japan, you're at like a place of business, work, and you have like Xerox copy machine, and you just see some guy just like scanning these manga pages and everything. The boss is like, fuck you doing?
What? I'm not doing anything.
You're not doing what I think you're doing, are you? Yeah, I was just scanning it for my own personal use. Wasn't going to distribute it or anything.
Man. Yeah. So those two guys got jail time. I don't know how much. I don't know how things are going, but you don't want to go to jail in Japan, not because Japan's prison system. It's not because, or I won't say system. It's not because prison in Japan, at least from what I know of, is like hardcore. No. The issue is with the justice system in Japan is you get convicted 99% of the time. I saw
that same fact. Like, if you get in trouble in Japan, it's pretty much going to happen that you're going to go to jail. So don't do anything stupid when you go to Japan.
Yeah. Getting accused is almost as good as being convicted. So you don't want to be on the end of that. So those guys are probably going to be behind bars.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I'll say so. Yeah. Unless they get Epstein in jail or I don't know.
Crazy. For leaks?
Right. Oh, because of leaks. It's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean. I won't do it again. Too late.
It's just Oda Sensei himself. Like all the mangaka that just put out the hit on him. It just.
Oh my god.
So he's just in the shower. That somebody just puts their hand over his shoulder and is like, it's time.
Yep. Gege is like with the phone to his ear, just like, make it done.
Do it.
Make it so. Do it.
Where's good? Decrepit Storm QRW6. We see you now. Yeah, I heard that very high conviction rates. What up, KOA? Been watching the Samurai Champloo episodes recently, and that Mugen getting high always makes me laugh. Shout out to Mugen. I'm sure EA can sympathize with someone who has been in prison. That is true. He has been in prison before. You know?
Oh, I remember those times being in prison. Oh, it was not fun. Oh. But hey, let me say this. At least in the American judicial system, the prison system versus Japanese, it was, 50-50 whether I was going to get out or not. Yeah. And hey, look at me. I got out. I dug a tunnel and bore myself out.
Yeah. Good old fugitive EA. Glad you could make it. But yeah. Yep. I mean, me personally, I used to be into those series that get leaked, like I said, One Piece. I still read Jujutsu Kaisen, but I haven't read it in a couple of months or so. So this doesn't really affect my reading of anything. But yeah. The spoiler culture thing has been pretty bad with the manga community, so I'm not happy that 2 people got arrested for this because not saying that not saying that they didn't do anything illegal. I mean, it's illegal, but I don't really like people going to prison for stupid stuff like this. I would rather the right people go behind bars. This is kind of just, but I mean, it is what it is. It is legal at the end of the day. But I'm hoping that this is a message for all the other leakers that they need to chill out, because spoiling in the manga community has gotten really bad. People just openly discuss things on Twitter. People get things trending before the official releases come out. And this is not something that's new exactly. Chapters used to come out back when we had Gemini's Box, which was a site that had like the One Piece chapters, all that like Shonen Jump stuff. The chapters used to come out like Friday or whatever, so 2 days before the official release. But back then I feel like it was a little better just because everybody had a set date, Friday, where they were going to talk about all the major series. One Piece, One Piece, My Hero Back Then, Black Clover, all those series. And then they would discuss it really in their communities, Discord, Twitter groups. Some people took it to YouTube discussions, stuff like that. But now people are discussing the leaks as early as Wednesday. And then they may even talk about spoiler content, just tech spoilers on a Tuesday. It's pretty crazy, and it's hard to avoid.
Right. No description, no spoiler, spoiler alert or anything like that. Just such and such died. Here's a picture of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gotten really bad, so can't blame them. Can't blame them too much, but yeah. Next thing is Makoto Ojiro, mangaka of Insomniacs After School, is launching a new manga titled Hoshino-kun Shitagate. I would give the description of it actually sounded kind of interesting to me. I'll try to find it for you.
Okay.
Does it have it right here?
Because
okay.
Didn't you say that Insomniacs After School, the manga anyway, like the ending was kind of not that good?
Well, hold on, just wait for a second. It's not that it's not that good. I feel like it could have done more. I think the ending
could have been better.
Yeah, I think the ending is still good for what it is, but I definitely felt that she could have done more with the story. But here's this is from Manga Mugura. Here's a description of the story. Rom-com about a timid and kind high school boy in a baseball school club meeting. A new transfer student girl crying by herself. He learns that she was mugged, but somehow this girl is kind of odd because suddenly she asks him for money to help her out. A new teasing rom-com about a dominant, eccentric girl and a way too gentle boy.
That's what's popular now. You have the Nagatoros, you have the My Dress Up Darlings, and now, you got to do what's popular now.
The art looks pretty good, too. This cover I'm looking at, it looks pretty good. I'll send it to you when I get a chance. Actually,
so I think.
Here we go. Send it right now. But I think, is that it for me? For news?
I think those were the two things you had.
Yeah, that's it for me.
As for me, today, I mean, it was pretty much, I think it was already announced, but I think they confirmed it. Konosuba Season 3 is coming out April of this year. Oh, that art is really good. That does look nice. But Konosuba Season 3 coming out in the spring. April, it's been confirmed. And it's Konosuba. I think you can bet your bottom dollar we're going to be talking about it on this series. Or, excuse me, on this podcast.
Okay.
And I guess the final thing, and I don't want to go too heavy-handed into this because I feel like if C was here, he'd go more into it. So maybe that would be something we could wait till next week because I'm sure there's going to be more shit to come out later. But Xbox is doing some pretty dumb things lately. I'm pretty sure everyone here knows it, but I'll just briefly talk about it. Xbox is kind of not they're kind of abandoning the whole console wars, and they're just going to become a straight up publisher, kind of like Sega, and they're just saying, "Hey, all our games that we said we were going to make exclusive for this particular console, they're not going to be exclusive anymore. We're going to send them to Sony. We're going to send them to Nintendo. We're going to all that other crap." So, yeah, it's just bad. I saw something not that long ago where they said that they were planning on sending Gears of War, one of my favorite franchises, over to Sony so that they can play it. And I'm like, no, that is... Don't like what they're doing. Don't like what they're doing. Like I said, C can definitely talk about it more when he comes back next week. But as far as what I feel about it right now, I feel like they're just... They're being dumb right now.
It's going to be bad for the consumers, because as much as people bought into the whole console wars things, Xbox versus Sony, and wherever your allegiance lies, it doesn't really matter, because with something like this, if there is no other console for Sony to compete with, because you may have Nintendo with Switch or whatever, but I think for the most part, people who they're going to be, it's not the same competition as Xbox, because the people that have PS5s are still going to have Switches, Wii's, whatever it may be. But when you have a PlayStation, rarely do you have in a like let's say middle class household, especially with like teenagers. If you have a PlayStation, you're probably not going to have an Xbox. So they are in direct competition with each other. And whenever there's a monopoly, whenever there's one entity that could set a price, look out. expect prices to balloon. So that's what happens.
Yeah, PlayStations are gonna go. I mean, you think that they were expensive when people were buying them up and reselling them on eBay when they first came out? Just you wait until they sell them market value, brand spanking new. PlayStation 6 coming at you for $1,000 with the brand new fucking Apple attachment where you have the goggles and you're doing all that shit. Did you see that thing that Apple has?
I've seen some things here and there about it.
It literally looks like the future. You know, it's you got goggles and then you have hands and you like are surfing the web and doing stuff with your hands, and I'm just like, I don't know.
I don't like this.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't like it. That's how I feel about it. I'll be the old man in the situation. I don't like this. Our attention span is already getting worse and worse as time goes.
Could you imagine if we just had... I mean, we're literally entering Sword Art Online territory with stuff like that, where we're just... Or Ready Player One, where you just have the goggle headset on the whole time and you're going to be living in it. You're never going to leave. You're going to be never going to go outside ever again.
Yeah.
Boy, it's awful, man.
Yeah. If you think gaming is bad, you know... Remember how like gaming was kind of perceived like back in the day, where if you were a gamer or whatever, you're like that stinky person that just plays games all day. If you think that's bad, if you think that's bad, that's going to be way worse, because that's literally cutting you off from the world in terms of your senses being cut off and just not being able to see night from day anymore. You know, at least when you're gaming on TV or whatever, you can still see when the sun comes down and when it comes up. When you're immersed in this thing over your face, it's going to be way worse.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to what's going to happen in the next 10 years or so. It's a bit concerning, and maybe I don't know, maybe I'm just being an old man and just kind of shaking at clouds and just Ooh, these damn things ain't what it used to be. And maybe I'm just, nostalgia, thinking of that whole better times and whatnot. But I don't know. It just, it just, it just, it just doesn't feel like how it used to. And I miss that old time when it came to like video games or just entertainment in general.
Yeah. Definitely on the old people's side this time. I have VR goggles for my phone, and videos are so immersive in it. Those new Apple products are AR. The reason they are a big deal is because you can see through it. Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. I still don't like it.
Or AR.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either. Or AR.
We're old.
I'm sure he'll tell me. Yeah. Tell me, what does this AR mean? Is that ass region? What is that?
I thought it meant assault rifle. That's what I think of when I hear AR.
The Apple products, they have assault rifles? Oh my god, no.
Is it gonna be like Inuyashiki?
God, where we turn into fucking robots. Oh no, Kenny is telling us to get with the times, old men.
I can't even see it in OBS. I don't. Kenny's not showing up for me. No.
I'm looking on the actual YouTube, but Decrepit Storm says augmented reality, I think. Okay. That it is augmented reality. Okay. Thank you, Sabu. VR is virtual reality, and AR is augmented reality. Pokemon Go is AR. Okay. So basically, the goggles interact with real life. That's weird.
I don't like it. Sounds like a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah, I saw that thing you posted, and I liked it because, I liked the response because I'm just like, yeah, this is like Black Mirror.
Yeah.
And if any of you have seen Black Mirror, just know that technology is a huge theme when it comes to all the episodes, but it's not a good thing. It's not a technology is your friend. You should fear it.
Sure. Has to be some anchor, but I guess time will tell. So I always forget to do this. I always forget to edit the topic. It was on questions this entire time. But
it's quite all right.
Yeah. But
we'll get used to it by the time next week comes. Oh wait, then someone else is gonna be doing it next week. Oh well, it's okay.
Yeah.
But we are done with news. Now it's time for no, I'm kidding. For Metallic Rouge. The Rouge of Metallic.
Yeah. Speaking of technology.
Right. Speaking of old men with glasses, this episode was pretty good. It definitely had a twist I didn't see coming. For sure. But overall, it was an enjoyable experience. I thought that, we had that court jester villain guy come back at the end, and he was pretending to be one of them. I'm like, I thought he was going to come back again. Sure enough, he was there to stir the pot. One of my big takeaways from this episode was hold on, I'm looking at the wrong spot. No, I forgot it's down here. Okay, yeah, there it is. That Naomi, she could fight. She got kicks, and she can definitely hold her own when she fights.
Yeah. They are. I don't. They haven't really they haven't really gone into what group they belong to, but it is called Alethea. Let's go with that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're this branch of the government that's taking out the Immortal Nine. So I would imagine like Naomi doesn't have some defined role, but she's also a part of the government, just like these other police guys. So it's not that surprising that she could fight when you look at her role, but it is kind of surprising just because she didn't seem like that type. when we see her, she just seems like the tech guy behind the, messing with the RCs and remote controllers.
Right. She was the smart girl that eats a lot of food and, is kind of like hidden in the shadows.
Yeah.
Pulling all the strings and whatnot. But yeah, she did a freaking double edge kick, which I was like, okay, Naomi, I see you.
Drew some
You
blood
got yourself. Too. Yeah. I think even the guy was impressed too. It was just like, you made me bleed my own blood.
And she was fighting a Neen, so that's actually pretty impressive. Sapapu said, Satsuki, when are you going to play some Striking Vipers? I don't know if you've seen Black Mirror or how much you've seen of it, EA. But Striking Vipers, you may have heard of that episode because it's the episode with what's the actor's name? Anthony Mackie? Is that his name?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, the one where they're gaming and they're playing a Street Fighter parody and then they get in the game and start making out.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that one.
I don't know why that's like the most popular episode or the episode that most people talk about with Black Mirror, but it's actually a pretty good episode. I like the themes in it. But yeah, I'll play some Striking Viper. Yeah. I'm gonna pick who do I want? Who's a popular Street Fighter character? Or let's go Tekken. Since Tekken is the popular one. I'll be Reina.
Kuma.
No, I don't want to be Kuma. I don't want to be
You don't want to be Kuma?
No.
All right.
Yeah, I want to be Reina. She's like the most popular character now.
All right.
But yeah, this episode, one of the things that was relevant is just Rouge showing more character and kind of having some direction as far as what she wants to do. Because probably like the first two episodes, she's just listening to whatever Naomi or anybody else is telling her to do. But now she's starting to have a little more free reign over her life, doing what she wants to do. She still doesn't have really a anchored sense of justice. Like, we don't really know where her morality lies in terms of what would she do in this situation. We kind of have a baseline because, I mean, from her saving Rion in the last episode when he was being harassed by the military police. We know that she would save people who are in danger. And obviously, from the episode where we saw her sharing chocolate, whatever, she seemed like a decent person, but she still kills people at the end of the day. So, and it seems like this episode, she was remorseful for that, because as she's hallucinating when Rion hits her with the needle, she's looking at the three people that she's killed, two of which we haven't seen because they were already dead by the time the story started. But one of them we see Sarah, who's impaled, still singing. I was like, damn.
She said, I love you. She's like, don't you know? Stop it.
She can't get out of that contract. Like, Universal gonna get their money one way or another.
You're gonna keep singing. Oh
my God. It was pretty good though. She knows how to do it while impaled. Pretty good performance.
That's coming to you soon. The singing impaled Sarah.
Yeah, donut Sarah.
Donuts.
But one thing too was when Dumas, who was actually Jaron the whole time, the jester guy that you were talking about earlier. One thing he did in this episode with Rouge was kind of question her own free will, because like I said, she started to have more direction in terms of going like, I can do what I want, but obviously that's not the case because she's a government doll, for lack of better terms. So she needs to figure out what she wants to do and if this profession is going to or what she wants out of this profession, I should say. Because the thing is, she obviously was created to take out the other Mortal 9 because she's a specialized nin, just like how they're specialized nins. But I don't know why she's doing this. You know what I mean? Is this just something that she's been doing since it was programmed in her, or what? We don't actually know why she's doing this, because she doesn't speak about doing this because some sense of justice or anything. It's just that's what the mission calls for. So that's kind of where she needs to figure out, or what she needs to figure out for her character direction. But it's good that those things were questioned for her.
Yeah, it was. It's definitely something that we'll see moving forward. What happens with their character, especially with how this episode ended. I'm more curious who these clowns are, who these circus people are. And I love what he says right here. The circus is in town, and they really are. You just hear the do 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 at the end.
Yeah, you got that girl that you see at the end of it. I don't know if she's one of the Mortal 9, but
oh, she has to be.
She probably is. Because here's the thing about this show, and I like this episode, but one thing that's becoming abundantly clear with just how all these episodes are shaping up to be, this feels like we had to amp up the pace with all these episodes because of us having an objective of we have to kill the Immortal 9. So right now we're in this is episode 5, right? Or no, it's episode 4. This is episode 4.
Yeah.
So think about that.
A week delayed start.
So we killed 4 of the Immortal 9 already. So it feels like every episode is either one of them is going to die, or it's just going to be one episode in between that time. And it's 12 episodes. So if we're really going to complete that objective, they kind of had to get rid of one of these guys very quickly. And the issue with that is you don't really get to build up to these characters. Although the doctor that we saw that ended up being Phantom Verde, although we saw him 2 episodes prior to this one, I still feel like he wasn't really built up as an antagonist at all. Like they built up his character as in terms of the doctor, but not the villain or the antagonist, because I don't really understand what his purpose was too much. He just said, he said some line where he said, "I just
you're not free, freedom.
I just do what I'm told." I'm like, what does that mean? Who's telling you to do this?
Right. And why
did you kill your guy?
Are you like a fan of Eren from Attack on Titan? What is with this freedom talk of that he's talking about? And then his secret attack is I expel a bunch of gas, and then he just dies because she rips out his immortal heart, rainbow heart or whatever, and it's just
that was kind of lame with the fight. Like the animation wasn't really lacking, but the fight itself was lacking, because if you have a guy who's, I don't know, kind of doing what Scarecrow does with these toxins that make you see your worst fears and whatnot, if you have a power that's similar to that, where she's seeing like these illusions of the Immortal 9 that she's already killed, you would think that would cause more turmoil. And granted, we already got that a little bit with Rihan stabbing her with the needle and then her seeing what she saw. But I mean, there's a fight, and the fight lasted like 2 minutes, and then it was solved with her doing the same thing she did against Sarah, just one stab to the chest. It wasn't really that. It wasn't that engaging.
Yeah, it's really quite a shame, because I felt like this character could have been way more, because I agree with you. The whole Scarecrow, hallucinogenic type drugs would have been really neat had they expand upon this character more. But no, it was just one episode, betray his own need, just for a weird twist sort of thing, dead. It just kind of resolved all too quick, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, that's the issue. We don't understand his motivations at all. Why was he a doctor? Why was he treating Neens? Why did he seem sympathetic to Neens? Is it because he's a Neen himself? If that's the case, then why did he also try to kill Rouge, who was kind of fighting on the same side as him? Like, what was the purpose of all this?
It really didn't have a purpose. I mean, maybe it'll come out later, but it's a shame too, because I thought maybe they would have done more with this character, especially with the fact that they got a big voice actor to do it. But it's just like, we'll just let him be in there for the cool voice and nothing more. You know, shock, here's the twist. Ooh, I don't know. It looked nice.
Yeah.
That's something we can agree on, is that it looked cool.
And I guess too, what's also weird, this is not really a complaint, it's more just a question. I don't understand what Naomi was doing in this episode in terms of the narrative, because she ends up in the CFN settlement, but she doesn't end up really doing anything. Now she engages with Jaron and they have their little swabble and they talk a little bit, but nothing is really resolved with that in any way. One thing that I found weird is just the fact that Jaron didn't kill her. He was about to, and then he just said something like, I don't know if he's...
We'll meet again, Spider-Man. No.
say that.
But you know that the villain of the week always doesn't kill the hero. They always say, "We'll get you next time."
I forgot what he said. He said she's trouble or something like that. I think that's more closer to what he said. And I don't know why he said it. I don't know if Naomi might be a Neen herself. Who knows? I don't know. But I just found that whole thing weird.
Everybody's gonna be fucking Neens. That's the twist. It's not even... Okay, here comes a EA theory right now. Since this isn't based off of manga, this is original anime. The twist is everyone is a fucking robot. They're just racist against other robots because they inherited the human genes. Everyone's a robot, and the world was, overpopulated with humans. They left a long time ago. Boom. That's where all the robots come into play.
The only problem with that is that if that was true, then they got to be like some different type of robots, like, because all of them require that like shot or whatever to survive. Yeah. So unless they were all different types, or where they didn't need that, or because they also have that thing where they can't harm other humans. And we know we already seen humans be able to harm other humans, like where we saw that mercenary group attack the buses full of children and everybody else, where grandma was, whipping it. But I don't know. I mean, probably the characters that are, like I said, Naomi, it's possible that she might be a Neen herself, and maybe she's hiding that from Rouge. I don't know.
I don't either. I don't know. All I know is that there's a lot of politics going on right now with, certain groups and certain, uprisings. That's, I don't know, pretty much what's going on now. And they kind of touched base on it a little bit this episode, other than, the giant twist and the fight and whatever. And Jaron and Naomi and their little altercation, whatnot. But other than that, I guess we're just kind of left wondering what the circus is all about. What's gonna happen now with and I think you're right, Saskia. This is another Immortal 9. It's definitely another one that's gonna step up to the fight, or to the plate to fight, and then there's gonna be another epic fight scene. There's a lot of epic fight scenes going on right now.
kind of crazy the designs of the Immortal Nines. I mean, I really like Sarah design. I like that one design of the Immortal Nine girl that we never encountered that was already dead. That was like on the floor looking at Rouge when she was hallucinating. And this other girl is an Immortal Nine member. I like her design too. Kind of crazy that they're killing all these characters with great designs. And also I gotta look back at that hallucination to see if all of them were female characters, because so far they
were.
Yeah, so far they all look like female characters, I think.
The only one in the hallucination that I can remember was when Rouge is choking out that Neen, and that's a guy, I'm sure. But then there was also this. That's another thing. An unnamed person that says, "Rouge, come to your senses." Who's this long-haired dude? You know, he basically snapped her out of her hallucination. You remember that?
That's the guy we saw in the previous episode. I have his name written down. His name is John.
Just John?
No, not John. Young Heart.
Oh, Young Heart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The vice director.
I must have barely remembered him because he was, well, if the vice director was in there and helping Rouge, he has to have some type of power. Like he snapped her out of her illusion.
Well, she if you remember when Naomi was talking on the phone with those guys, she was excited to get praise from John. So if they were the ones who created her or like there for her creation, I wouldn't be surprised if they had like something like implemented with her, like some voice command or whatever, some way to control her. Because in the same way that Neens can't kill humans, I would assume that Rouge has something in place to where she can't backfire on them. So they have some type of master code over her that, you know, truly turns her into a robot. So
yeah, it's kind of like RoboCop. You know, never harm the innocent. Cannot turn on anyone a part of the OCP. Yeah, stuff like that. And then at the very end, you're fired. And then he gets fired. And then he was able to kill him. That was funny. I love that.
The Cripple Storm says EA's prophecy of metallic Rouge.
Yes, everyone's a robot at the end. For it be told, for it shall be. EA's prophecy of metallic Rouge.
Write that down. Sababu said this show reminds me of Pluto for obvious reasons. I haven't seen Pluto yet myself, but I do have to watch it.
Yeah, that came out last season? 2 seasons ago?
Maybe 2 seasons ago. I know it definitely last year.
Actually, like on Netflix.
Yeah, actually, I need to read it rather than watch it. I'd rather read it. But
he's a reader.
Yeah, that is about it for our thoughts on Metallic Rouge. Another dense episode, I would say. A lot of information to kind of digest, but yeah, I'm hoping that things aren't how I think things are going to play out with the show, because I feel like as time goes on, this show is going to start to slowly nosedive, just because it's trying to tell a lot in a small amount of time. It's only 12 episodes, so I'm kind of worried because of that.
Yeah, and there are fantastic shows that can tell great stories with less, but I feel, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I feel like maybe this is a show that, depending on how it goes, maybe needs more to tell more of an interesting story. But we'll see how it goes, because I don't hate it. I definitely think it's more of the better type shows that we've seen that are anime originals. But time will certainly tell, for sure.
For sure. All right, it is time to get into Nakama Club with our show From the New World, aka Shinsekai Yori. My pick.
From the New World. And oh my goodness, episodes 8 and 9. These episodes, I feel like I was just on the edge of my seat these whole episodes. Like I was hooked. I was strapped in, ready to go. Before I knew it, both of them were done. And I was just like, what happened?
Yeah.
I have to wait another week.
See, now this is a show that also has that's kind of dense, but because it's so many episodes, 24 episodes, it has enough time to tell a story. So it never feels like it's rushing through things, with the exception of that false Minoshiro episode. I don't think that episode was rushed either. I just felt like it was a lot that was thrown at you.
It was a lot to take in because it was essentially a dump of literal just everything that was being thrown at you. And I feel like that was by design. It was on purpose just because we're in the view of the kids that are just going, what? Yeah. Their whole worldview is being shattered. So that's a lot to take in even for anybody. But anyway, on to the new episodes. 2 years has passed and everyone is gay.
And they have longer hair.
They have longer hair.
This is what happens when you get longer hair. You become gay.
You just become gay. But I definitely wasn't expecting that for sure. I was definitely kind of confused by the fact I'm like, whoa, they're more than just friends. They're really into one another.
Yeah.
But I do remember when that false Minoshiro was talking, they basically were saying that, they kind of had instincts that of chimpanzees where they have, they go for the same sex and everything like that. And I feel like, especially because we're talking about episode 8, that was a huge part as to why Saki was feeling the way that she did. Because she kept looking at Shun, because I called it a couple episodes back that she liked him, and he probably likes her. But maybe in a way she feels, because she's with Maria right now. She got long hair and now she can fly.
Yeah.
She's with her and she's kissing all up and down her and whatnot. And it's like, I'm sure she likes her that way, but at the same time, it's not like love. I think it's more maybe that animal instinct that's taken over versus what's in her heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think that might have a lot to do with it because she just looks sad. Just because you would think somebody who's with somebody and loves being with somebody would just be like, I'm as happy can be, but she's sad.
Yeah, we have like this love pentagon thing going on with all the friends. So it's like how it stands is like Saki likes Shun. We don't really know who he likes, but it seems like he can also reciprocate feelings for Saki, or at the very least he's at least fond of Saki.
Yeah.
While Satoru had something with Saki, but also genuinely likes Shun, and then Maria genuinely likes Saki, and then Mamoru's over here all the way at the top just by himself, but it seems like he actually has feelings from Maria.
Yeah. And also, I am sorry, Mamoru. I thought that he was a girl this whole time.
Oh my god.
Well, because he had the really high pitched voice when he was, all scared and shy. I swear to you, I thought that he was a girl. Oh, but now, but once I hear the voice, once 2 years have passed, I'm like, okay, he's actually a guy. So I'm so bad. I'm so sorry when it comes to that. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting how they just kind of went that route just like boom, next couple episodes. And what I also, and this is gonna sound weird, so hear me out. I like how they didn't shy away from the affectionate scenes. And what I mean by that is, how many times have we seen a fucking anime where they barely graze somebody's pinky fucking ring and then they just go, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't mean to touch you. Oh, kawaii. This and that.
Yeah, they kind of treat there wasn't sex in this episode, but they kind of just treat intimacy as like this taboo thing, like it doesn't exist. But I mean, teenagers are pretty horny. That's kind of where things start to spike for people. So this is kind of a realistic portrayal. Not saying that everybody's up there like kissing, toppling each other over and kissing in a
grassy field.
Yeah, not saying they're doing exactly that, but I mean, middle school, high school. I mean, there are people kissing in the hallways, acting like they're never going to see each other, even though they got the same class, 2 periods,
right,
2 periods after.
Right.
So that's how it is. That's kind of just how it is.
Yeah, and I just thought that was interesting, just how they didn't shy away from that, because teenagers with hormones are gonna do that very thing. They're going to be promiscuous and they're just gonna start kissing and everything. And yeah, they didn't shy away from, Saki and Maria, and they didn't shy away from Shun and Satoru. And I appreciated the show for doing that. And I just thought it was fucking funny how you just see the sun setting in the distance, and then you see Saki and Maria's boobs just enter the scene, and I'm just like, so stupid, but it was supposed to be a sweet, tender moment, and I just couldn't help but laugh at that.
The Crepper Storm raised a great question, but how did they hold hands before getting with each other? These kids are stepping steps. They're wild. What can I say?
Yeah, they certainly they skipped a lot of steps just to get to holding hands, okay?
There was a scene, it's not important at all, but there's just a scene where Satoru, like after, I know I'm jumping ahead like really far, but after Shun breaks up with him and then he gets with the other guy, I think his name is Ray.
Oh my god.
And Ray, he like there's a scene where like they're all leaving the classroom. He like slaps Ray's ass.
His non-existent, completely flat, no round ass. Yeah.
I was like, what's going on here?
And he's just like, oh, you tease. I can't wait to see you later.
Why did they make him like the stereotypical gay guy?
They did. They made him like the voice actor definitely made him sound very much, the stereotypical gay man. Like your eyes could be closed, you could be like, this person's gay. You just hear it.
That's how great the voice actor was.
Yeah,
that was pretty funny. I just like how he got in a relationship like a day after getting dumped. It's one way to do it.
But people that are heartbroken, how many times have you seen that? It's like, oh wow, he's over them really quick. Oh, he's with someone new, and then they just walk by, hand on the other guy's shoulder. It's like, that's right, you looking.
Yeah. He's hurting.
Nothing but drama.
He's hurting. Satoru's hurting.
Oh, for sure he is. He loved that man. And speaking of Shun, that man, he talked to Saki. Backtrack just a little bit. He broke up with Shun because he said he was feeling smothered. And quite frankly, if that was the case, I agree. The guy was on top of his nuts the whole time. Literally, I'm gonna fucking fucking grass field and you're near me. Leave me alone.
I think the matching necklaces was the last straw when he tried to steal his swag.
Yeah, he was just like, oh, okay, this motherfucker's trying to. Okay, you're smothering me, man. Let's end it now.
I'm not even gay.
Yeah, I was just doing this just to be cool. But no, I honestly feel like he did it not because of that. Maybe it was a little bit because of that. I think he does care for Satoru, but he reveals that he's going to a I forget exactly what they said, but basically just like a different like setting to where he needed to go away and never be seen again. They were going to.
He's isolating himself.
Yeah, they're isolating him because we don't know, because he didn't want to say.
He got COVID.
He
quarantined himself.
Yep. He got COVID back in the year 3086. Yeah, that's just a terrible thing for sure. No, I think Shun said it where he was like, remember back then when we went to the queer rats and all that shit happened for that summer vacation that we had and we never got punished for it? I think we're getting punished for it now. And because I was surprised too, because I remember we hyped it up the previous podcast where we said there's going to be something that's going to happen. And it didn't look like anything happened when the episode started. That's why I was like, well, this is too good to be true. Sure enough, it is. And now Shun is getting spirited away, so to speak, and something's going to happen to him. And he was never seen from again after that episode. And yeah, kind of sad. But there was also a scene in the classroom when everybody was showing, I guess, who was he? Like an elder? Just their powers? Their Cantus?
Yeah, so the dude steps in Kaburagi and
look what I can do.
Yeah, Maria's flying, Saki's doing whatever. And one thing to note is he was actually kind of impressed with Satoru, which kind of makes sense because Satoru presented himself as pretty powerful. So that may be something to note. Because the guy who's just like looking at these guys, or he's the most powerful Cantus user, as they said, and everybody was anticipating him meeting up with Shun specifically because Shun is looked at as a genius in his class, and a lot of people think that Shun is going to take on the mantle as the most powerful Cantus user, just like Kaburagi. And Shun and Kaburagi meet. They have like this, because you can see like the power wave a little bit. They do their power thing, and then after he does it, he walks out of the classroom, and there seems to be some type of issue, and we don't know what that issue is exactly, but we kind of get we get more implications later on after that moment, some of which we already talked about him want to isolate himself and some things in the next episode. But whatever happened in that meeting didn't seem to be good, because after that whole thing happened, the egg that he was working to hatch fell over because he was tired or whatever, and then Saki saw some eye within the egg, which looks like a bad omen. I mean, the episode, the name of this episode was Omen, so
yeah, that it almost reminded me of Noragami, how they would have those little demons that they would fight and they would sprout eyes and everything. But yeah, it's like, first of all, what was the egg? What was he doing with that egg the whole time? And the fucking egg hatched, and out we see an eye. It is a lot of things we don't know for sure, but yeah, that Grandmaster was just like, I don't care what you do. You need to get this motherfucker out of here now. And then the teacher was like, "Okay, students, that's it for today. let's all go home and play patty cake."
Yeah, that was So yeah, that whole thing happened, and I think because once you get that moment, that's when you get Shun and Saki talk, and then he talks about how he's isolating himself, and then he says, "Watch out for cats." Which and then episode 9 is kind of where, things that episode was, the action. We're building up to all of this stuff, and episode 9, not all the action happened here, but I think things kind of set off in this episode, or you can see where things are going to set off, because a couple of things happen. Just with Shun specifically, it seems like everything around him is shrouded in mystery now, because they go to his village, Pinewood, and it's blocked off for whatever reason. They can't get in. And then students who are friends with other people in Pinewood say that, Pinewood students aren't showing up for whatever reason. They're absent from school. Shun himself has been gone for 5 days at this point. And then we kind of get like the big reveal, which is thanks to Mamoru and Maria, where they were looking for information and they ended up seeing the tainted cats and the adults. And the adults pretty much say, Shun is turning into a full karma demon, and we got to deal with him. We got to kill him.
Yeah, and they did it by taking out the fucking cat. Like Shun said, watch out for cats. It's the biggest cat in the world. You can never miss it.
Which, I mean, that's pretty much all you need to know about how they deal with malcontents. So, as far
they
as
force creatures onto them because they can't kill them.
Yeah, as far as wondering how did this person die? How is this person missing? This is how. And this isn't something that's really even a secret in terms of the adults not knowing whatever, because another like great emotional moment we got was with Saki and her parents.
That was great.
Saki asked about Shun, and they're trying to keep everything under wraps and trying to keep everything hush hush. And basically what they try to tell Saki is people die. Basically, they didn't say that, but that was the equivalent.
He said something like, you got to get used to people not being in your life anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, she's 14. I mean, yeah, okay, I understand death is part of life, but come on, you could have at least maybe possibly been a little bit more gentle with that. But yeah, I also love the mother, how she basically was like, listen to us and you will live. Conform or die.
Well, it's not one of those moments where they're just doing this to be like, I'm the parent, so you got to listen to me. They've already lost their kids, so they understand.
And Saki remembered one of her siblings.
Her elder sister.
In a dream. She woke up and said her name.
Mm-hmm.
Which, how fucking insane would that be? If you woke up from a dream and you realized you had an older sibling that you totally forgot about. That would be one of those, holy shit, I have a brother.
Which it makes you think, does this give us a clue that they just start to forget about people that that died? Obviously the parents remember, but for the children, do they just forget?
I don't think so. If this show has shown me anything, is that it's all about control. I think it's maybe hypnosis. I don't know if they forget about them. I think maybe they do something to make them forget about them. You know what I mean? And when that breaks down, well, they start remembering. And definitely has something to do with the Cantus because, that stuff happened 2 years ago where they came back from summer camp and some of their Cantuses were, well, I think all of them were unlocked. I know Satoru's and Shun's definitely were, but...
No, everybody has their power back because we saw everybody use their powers.
Okay. I guess what I'm getting at is I feel like just like when they did that whole hypnosis where it's like, oh, you lost your Cantus. They probably did the same thing, especially if they're young and impressionable. You forgot you had a sister, just something like that.
I think what also helps people forget, people end up dead or they may not think about a possibility of death and they may take them being missing as them actually being missing is because of who they are, because they know Cantus users can't harm other Cantus users. They know that. So if somebody went missing, you wouldn't initially think that they got killed by a Cantus user, because I know like they're using other beings to kill them, but ultimately it's other Cantus users who are making the decision that they need to die. But they're not
right.
People wouldn't think that initially because they wouldn't know that they would be using these other entities to take them out, kind of like mercenaries or something. So I kind of think that aids people in just forgetting about these people and actually buying into them being missing.
Yeah, that there's a lot of explaining to do when it comes to what's going on. I am definitely looking forward to these next couple of episodes because it's one of those things where we see kind of like the consequences of their actions right now. Why they waited so long to do it is definitely something I'm not too sure of, because if they knew from the get-go what was going on, why would they wait until now to all of a sudden be like, okay, we got to get rid of these people? Maybe just to not make it look too conspicuous. Maybe because five students going missing immediately would maybe raise suspicions versus one at a time, over so many years.
Well, right now they're just taking out Shun, because Shun is, we have suspicions that they're monitoring everybody else, but Shun they're trying to take out. So I kind of want to ask you this question: what do you think is going on with Shun exactly? Why is he isolating himself? Because this is something that was already happening before he even disappeared off the map.
My only thing I could think of is that there's something going on with him, maybe Cantus-wise. Maybe he has, I don't know, just issues. Maybe he wants to kill. Maybe he has those urges. He's got the dark urge and he wants to kill some people. I'm not too sure. But it's definitely not something good. That I know. And he's hiding it because it's something that's no bueno.
I mean, when you look at it, if you remember, I believe it was in the first episode. If you remember, one of the teachers asked Shun to tell the story of I forgot what it. I think it was a story of the karma demon. I may be wrong about that, but he told a story of a boy that basically became.
Yeah, I think it was a karma demon.
Yeah, he became arrogant with his power, and eventually he kind of like lost control over it. So he isolated himself in a village and eventually killed himself. So it makes you wonder if he's following that story in real time.
Yeah. Which, if he did, that would be kind of crazy. He fulfills that story's prophecy, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not too sure. Not too sure right now, but all I know is that it's got me hooked. I am interested. What's gonna happen to poor old Shun? Will he touch Satoru's lips once more?
You might not get the chances. I mean, right now it's just Saki looking for him right now. She's encountered one of those tainted cats, and Shun gave her this necklace to protect her. We gonna see if it works.
It better fucking work. If it doesn't, I guess we're gonna be down to one more person.
Yeah. I mean, do you see this show as a series where people die this early, at least? Because, I mean, we're not even halfway through the show.
I don't know. I mean, maybe. Because there have already been some people that have technically died. We didn't really get to know them, but as far as the main cast is concerned, I could see maybe one person getting offed, but who knows? I guess we'll see.
Okay. So that is that for Shinsekai Yori. We move on to back to our winter anime, Frieren. Frieren.
Frieren.
Episode 21. Yeah. 21.
This is a Killer Pass episode.
Mm-hmm.
Technically.
I think it's going to be all right.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine.
All right, so this episode is just continuing the fight that we already was gearing up for with Frieren and Frieren, Dinkin, and Richard.
Yeah,
and
Richard or Richard or something. I don't know.
And then Kane and Luine. I'm trying to remember their names without actually like looking at the notes. So,
you're not turning into me.
I try to memorize names when I can, but it's kind of hard with all of these guys. But I'm pretty sure I got their names. But yeah, we continue that whole fight, and we got a conclusion to all the fights. So.
Yeah, they freaking Frieren turns into Free Win.
Yeah,
she literally. She literally freaking won like nothing. I thought it was going to be at least a little closer than what it was. But nah, she owned his ass.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I was like, whoa. I'm still waiting for your theory of her getting her ass handed to her. But I guess that'll be in the next lessons because, you know, everybody's going to be every person for themselves now.
Listen, my whole thing of saying Ubel's going to beat Frieren, it looks really bad right now. It looks really bad right now. She destroyed the barrier that is made by like the strongest mage ever. So Ubel beating her doesn't look too great. I'm gonna stick with it.
Let's see how well it looks.
I'm gonna stick with it. I'll kind of get into that later, I guess. But no, Frieren is she's a beast, man. She's a beast. She's lived for 1,000 years for a reason. So dinking to her was just that was easy. It just shows you how polished she is as a mage. I mean, dinking is. We don't really have a gauge for this, but I would assume Dinkin, from what we've seen, is first mage material. Just from his approach to everything we've seen, how prepared he is in all these fights, how he fared against other people, he seems like he would be prime for being a first mage. And they made it through at the end of the day, but man, he got mollywopped by Frieren. But that just showed that's not really a knock against him. That just shows you how much better she is in comparison to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, she's really powerful. And with the assistance of Frieren, those two girls, they won with the assistance. They did the whole freeze water effect on his ass.
Oh man, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I definitely I wanted them to win just because he was talking so much shit in the fight and he was
really
being
was.
really condescending and whatnot. I was just like, I know Luine and Kane aren't as strong as him. And I said this last podcast, I believe. I said I don't think they're stronger than him whatsoever, but I feel like with their teamwork and I initially I thought they were around a body of water. I didn't know he raised a mountain and that separated them from the body of water. But because they had access to water, they were able to get the job done because as Luine astutely pointed out, he seemed to try to play mind games with them in that he was saying because she made a bluff about being able to use the water inside his body to possibly do something to him, and then he correctly points out that she can't do it because she can't visualize it. And he keeps trying to basically, what's the word? Discourage them from thinking that they have any chance in the fight. And Luine correctly points out that he seems to be afraid of something. And this is where the rain falls is where we see why he was so afraid, because he understood that bodies of water was probably his worst enemy in that situation, because with defense magic, as explained by himself, defense magic works good against other magic, but against physical objects, it can still hold up in some blow. Like if you just punch it, you can maybe block a punch, but that's why other mages throw other things. They throw debris and rocks and bigger stuff at you because it's not that great against physical force. So whenever he gets this big ass ball of water just dropped on him, he gets crushed and he loses.
Yeah, poor him. But I agree. He had it coming. All that shit talking.
Yeah.
All that shit talking. It's like the Dallas Cowboys this year. All that shit talking. Then they lost to the Packers. They got their asses handed to them.
This is a good analogy.
Yeah, that guy essentially was the Dallas Cowboys.
This is our year.
Yeah.
But the interesting bit that we got in the beginning was the flashback.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Is of course Frieren knows the oldest freaking mage in existence, because of course she would. It's like, I can grant you anything you want. I'm good.
No thanks. Which
I changed my mind. I hate her ass.
well, first I want to say this. We already knew Frieren was a student of Flame, who is like the strongest human mage that we've seen. But Flame herself was also trained by the Grimoire that knows all these magical spells, Sirie. So that just shows you the family or the student master tree of why Frieren is so strong, because her master was the strongest human mage, and then her master was like this crazy powerful Grimoire. So yeah, that's kind of why Frieren is so crazy talented. And then she's an elf herself, which also gives her an advantage in terms of how long she lives. And yeah, so and actually I'm gonna wait on that. Cause that scene of her meeting up with Sirie, where she refuses to be gifted one of the spells that they just have a collection of, that lends into something that we see from Dinkin, where he says the same exact thing as Frieren, that he feels that mages or magic is something to be discovered rather than just be given to you. So,
right.
Which, man, Dinkin, he has my utmost respect. Like, this dude is just cool. He's cool as hell.
Yeah. Especially at the very end when all the chips are down and he thinks that there's nothing else to that he's basically lost, his team's lost and everything. what does he do? He he's two guys with a bird, a stele, and's like going to go in this, crack my knuckles, and we're gonna fight like men.
Man. Yeah, I love scenes like that because yeah, they were all distraught. They didn't know what they were going to do. Everybody's used up their magic. They got into an intense fight. They basically bet all their chips on this one move. It failed, and everything looks hopeless. And Dinkin there was a plan in mind because he was looking for this exact situation that he ended up finding, but there was no guarantee that any of this was going to work out. He just went, listen, we got to fight. We can still move. We may not be able to use magic, but we've came too far to not just give up right here. Because everybody was ready to give up. As powerful as they are, they were ready. And he's just like, whatever it takes, if we got to go through with our fist, we'll do it. And that's exactly what he did. Fisticuff, fought like a real man, won by himself seemingly because he was the only one that got bandaged after the fight. Dinkin is just cool. He's just a cool dude. My respect for Dinkin, high up there. Definitely one of my favorites.
And he just looks cool. He's got a long, cool ass beard and a monocle.
Yeah, he's
cool.
He's a character that you just want to like. I mean, he's pretty level-headed. He seems to have his morals in check because he didn't want to kill Luine or Kane like that one guy originally wanted to do, Reacher.
Yeah.
So he seems like a good dude, old, experienced, smart, ready to throw down when the situation demands it, goal-oriented, doesn't want to be given any handouts. Pretty solid dude. And considering his screen time, I mean, it's pretty impressive what they done with him. He'll definitely be a character I end up remembering when this show is done. So
Dinkin the Chad.
Yeah, just a cool dude. Can't say the same for the rest of his party because they're way less developed. But
yeah, the one dude's kind of a shit talker, and then the girl that is very stealthy and everything. All she had to do was stand back, and Dinkin was like, "Don't do it. She's not gonna kill me. I can't take that chance."
All you had to do was not follow the damn train, CJ. just stay your ass there.
I mean, yeah, but she couldn't take that chance because you can't read Frieren. I kind of agree. You can't read her face.
She's just like, I would think that she was ready to kill somebody too.
Right. I'd be like, I don't think she's bluffing. I think she's gonna kill somebody. And then she went up there, snatch. Ooh, got me.
Oh man. Yeah, so she did something stupid objectively because the more experienced guy told her not to do it. So that's why it's objectively stupid. But I understand why she did it because of like what you said. She felt that she couldn't take the chance on doing that. So even though I don't think she's as developed as Dinkin at all, I still think you got a little bit from her character specifically, acting impulsively, thinking that she needed to save her companion, which you got to respect her for. Because although they all need each other to pass, I don't even know if she was thinking about passing in that moment because she really was trying to just get his body and make sure he didn't die. So that at least shows you the built up camaraderie amongst these guys in being on teams. It seems like a lot of these people who formed the team, even though it was randomly assigned, they may end up being friends when it's all done, you know. Like what was the one team that we saw? Werbel, like they all seem cool with each other. Frieren is like the older sister type to Luina and Kane, but yeah, they're all pretty cordial with each other. The only team that I just feel their fallout won't be too sad is Fern's party. They just don't seem connected at all. They had this like funny banter scene though when they were in the cave,
Oh my
And
gosh.
and then Ubel is talking about the magic, how Fern only uses basic attack magic, and then she's like, "What else do you know?" And then Fern's like, "I know magic that can see through clothes." And then Ubel just backs up.
She just and like covers herself because she's like, I don't want you to see me naked.
Yeah, so that was actually pretty funny. But I don't. They just, with that group, they don't focus on them being a team, I think, on purpose, because I think they are that group. They got the job done, and they're going to pass and go to the second round. But I think they're going to fight each other at some point. Well, I think the teams are going to break up anyways in the second round. But it seems like their cars are being hidden from each other. It's like this game of poker almost, where everybody's trying to keep up a certain face, and they're trying to hide their full abilities from each other while still being on teams.
Right.
Pretty cool.
Right, because you don't want to show your whole hand from the get-go. I agree.
Yeah. Let me read some of the chat. I would be surprised if Ubel actually beats Frieren. Yeah, I mean, but one thing Frieren, what the show always does is they hype things up to astronomical level and then subvert your expectations from it. That's kind of what they did within this episode of.
They've done that multiple times.
Yeah, they did this. Like you said,
they did that
times.
with the dragon and Stark.
Exactly. That's the moment I was going
to get. Yeah, sorry.
That's the moment I was going to bring up too.
I thought that he was going to get his ass handed to him, and he actually handed the ass of the dragon.
That's what they did it with Stark and the dragon. They did it with Frieren versus Aura, because remember, I said this too. I said Frieren was going to body Aura. I just knew it. I knew she was hiding her true power. And then they also did it with Fern versus the other guy. I forgot his name. But she bombarded him with the attack magic. So yeah, they built up things to astronomical levels, and then just kind of subvert your expectations. And that's just kind of what fighting shows do in general. Just that's what you do. You're supposed to build up things to the climax, and then kind of do a little switcheroo here and there. It doesn't always work out like that, but
yeah. I could see that. Ubel's going to, slice an Achilles, and then all of a sudden, she's going to come up with the advantage. Because, I mean, that's not to say that Frieren's not great at magic. She's fantastic at magic. How is she fighting? That's the one thing.
Okay, so here's the thing about Ubel. Wait, true, but in this case, I think you're the only one who is getting hype, Satsuki. So here's my case. Here's my case for Ubel versus Frieren, and why I think, because if these teams break up, which that seems to be the case, these teams being broken up, because there's 6 teams that pass, 18 people left. So it doesn't seem like we're gonna stay with these teams. If we end up doing 1-on-1s or something like that, for people to get first class mage, here's my case for why I think Ubel is going to be first class, and I don't think Frieren is. Some of the points I already made. Again, they only need one first class mage for this trip to the north, just one. And I feel like if Fern doesn't get it now, I can't see us spending, because right now she's 18. And I think they do this every 3 years. I can't see us spending 3 years just lollygag. Well, if Frieren wins, then they don't want to have to do this. But I can't see them not giving Fern that validation as a mage right now. Because I don't know what a first class mage is in terms of power yet. But I feel like Fern could be a first class mage, considering that she beat one of the lackeys of the Demon Lord's executioners. Yeah, one of the Demon Lord's executioners. So I feel like she's first class mage level. if I kind of understand where that power level is. So I feel like she needs that validation way more than Frieren. Frieren doesn't need that validation whatsoever. In fact, I think oh my bad, Decrepit Storm. I think it's even more the case that she won't get be first class mage, because unlike everybody else, she doesn't need that wish. She already turned it down. And she already knows the grimoire. So she doesn't need to meet them. She doesn't need the wish. She's already turned it down. True. So and she doesn't need the validation as a first class mage, because she's already beat the Demon King. She doesn't need any of this.
Right. I was thinking that same thing, because when it showed at the very beginning how she already knows the grimoire, I'm just like, well, there you go. Case closed. She's not going to get it because she doesn't need it, because she's already met her. And when she did, she said, no, I'm good. Yeah. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be Fern or Ubel. And maybe Ubel joins forces with them and becomes a brand new buddy.
Well, I don't think it's just... I think it's going to be multiple people who pass this. Because this is really shaking up to be kind of like the Hunter exam in that way, where... I forgot how many people passed the Hunter exam, but it was a couple of people. But it just culled the numbers down into where it was like, all right, these are the elites of the elites. You are now Hunters. And I think it's going to be the same thing with first class mages. If I had to give a number, if I had to give a guess, I feel like 4 members may get first class mage, like 4 or 3, around that number. I don't think it's going to be anything more than 5. And
you think Dinkin's gonna get it?
Possibly, but I'm not sure. Okay. Possibly, he could, but I definitely think
if he puts up his dukes, he wins.
he just beats everybody up. He just fuck magic. Oh,
right. He just goes. I was doing magic my whole life. I started winning when I started beating people's asses. I'm going to do this now.
Yeah, he just needs to infuse magic with his fist. But I think Ubel and Fern are going to be ones that pass. But again, with this whole Ubel versus Frieren thing, here's really the only thing that works in Ubel's favor, or I guess 2 things that work in her favor. For one, we already know this of Frieren. Frieren doesn't go for kills. Frieren tries to subdue people rather than kill them, which is going to work against her, against somebody like Ubel, who we know to be a killer. Now, one bad thing about Ubel is she plays with people, but I think if she understands off the rip that Frieren isn't someone that she can just play with willy-nilly, maybe she'll get more serious at the start of the fight. But another thing about Ubel is I feel that we don't really know her power. Yeah, they show one ability that she used against Werbel, but these are mages with multiple abilities. I don't think that's her only power. I feel like she tried to trick him into thinking that's the only thing she could do. But I definitely think there's way more up her sleeve that we haven't seen. And one thing about magic is that we've seen thus far is it only takes one spell to flip the whole battle around, depending on what that spell could be. We saw that binding spell, which is crazy powerful. They couldn't get out of it. It only takes one spell like that to change everything around. And Ubel might have something like that. So
that'd be crazy.
My whole thing about Ubel versus Frieren, why I think Ubel's going to win. One, I don't think Frieren needs to be a first class mage from everything we've seen. I think Frieren not killing people is going to work against her, possibly in a hypothetical. And I think Ubel has way more in store that she has not shown thus far. So if they end up fighting, that's why I think Ubel would win in a hypothetical against Frieren. From a strength standpoint, Frieren is way stronger. I'm not saying that Ubel's stronger. Frieren is way stronger than Ubel from what I've seen. Way stronger.
And number 3, because Sasuke wants it to happen.
I do want it to happen. Yeah, I do want it to happen. And then
gotta support the Ubel train.
Think about it too. If that were to happen, then you could kind of build up some more tension with Fern and Ubel later on in the story.
Yeah.
Maybe she becomes an antagonist.
They both go. Yeah, they both go at it. And they have an epic fight.
Yeah. Build up your antagonist for the future.
Poor Fern's not Fern, but poor Frieren's just like laying there, just all broken and busted.
Well, yeah, it just depends on how things are, because the whole format of the first round wasn't, there's fighting in it, but it didn't require fighting the way we've seen it. So second round could just be, it could literally be, hey, who can make the best cakes? It could literally be that. So everything I said could be null and void, because we don't actually know the format of the second round. It could be anything. So but yeah, this episode, another good episode.
Yeah. Another good episodes, another Frieren puppy dog face of just it was very, very small because you saw the two girls fighting, but then you just saw Frieren just but it was great. She's like, what am I doing putting up with these two girls?
I do want to say too, if these teams do all split up, all these teams are broken up, and we end up in like one-on-one situations. I said Luina and Kane were going to die to Ubel, but now, given what we saw, I don't think they're going to die, but I don't think they're going to win. I don't think they deserve to win either, just because they aren't first class mage material. They aren't. No. If they pass them, they're
immature.
They're immature, and I just don't think they're powerful enough. They definitely need more years under their belt. I feel like if they pass, that would be negligence on the Proctor side, because they are not on that level.
Yeah, they're just too busy sipping tea while just sitting and watching people fight. It's like, oh yeah, just pass them, no big deal.
Yeah.
Don't you think you want to reevaluate this? I mean, they both, look at them, they're fighting right now. Yes, they're first class mages. Anyone can fucking pass nowadays.
It's two parties we haven't seen yet, because it says 6 pass. So we seen Fern, Frieren's party, Wordbell's party, Dickens' party, and there's 2 that we didn't see. So I expect one party to kind of be like
some scrubs.
I expect one of them to be scrubs, but I feel like one has been hidden from us on purpose. So they'll probably be like some wild card team. But if I were to pick some people that I think are going to end up passing, I don't think Richard is going to pass. He's actually pretty strong, but I don't think he has the same resolve as someone like Dinkin, because he was ready to give up. Dinkin was he was not giving up.
He going out swinging.
Yeah,
literally.
So I think Dinkin, if I had to choose somebody from that group, I think Dinkin is a good choice, easy choice. Out of Wordbell, I think Wordbell's the easy choice to make there, but I feel like nobody might pass from that group, actually. But we'll see. Frieren, I already said I don't think Frieren's going to pass. Fern, I do think Fern's going to pass, and I do think Ubel's going to pass. I want to see what happens with Land, because Land is actually pretty. What the talk that Ubel had with Land was actually kind of cool, because Ubel talks about how, or Land talks about how next round they're going to end up in competition with each other. So he advises Fern to not like reveal her cards or whatever. So there's like this little tension between Land and Ubel that I kind of like. I don't know what they're going to end up fighting, but I like what I see there. But if they come to blows, I'm putting my money on Ubel. I'm putting
Oh,
all
I
my
know
stocks
it.
in Ubel.
Oh, I know it. You're gonna be fan number one, going, Ubel, Ubel, come on,
Ubel.
you got this. What? But I ask you this now: would you be very disappointed if she just, I don't know, didn't live up to all the hype and just lost her very first
Oh
match
yeah,
or
I would be greatly
something or
disappointed.
whatever?
I would be greatly disappointed. Just with
Would you then take back everything you said? Fuck Ubel.
I might
Fuck this.
just with
I'm
and
off the Ubel train.
this is less to do with just my own personal enjoyment of this character. I just feel also with how the story has presented her. Like they put her in contact with Kraft for a reason, in my opinion. Kraft commented on her power, and Kraft is pretty powerful himself. And he or not her power, but he kind of commented on her mentality of her being a killer. I just feel like with all that build up, not showing the full extent of her power throughout all of this, if there's not a reason for that, or if it all ends with her just getting beat easily, or in the first round or whatever it may be, not in the first round, but the first fight in the second round, I'll be disappointed. But
We'll know that Gege wrote this character.
oh my god. Oh my god. No.
Great promise, but terrible execution.
Jesus Christ. I have hope that Ubel is going to be a first class mage when it's all said and done. And I think it'll also be interesting too, just for her to be a first class mage, because unlike some of the other characters that we've seen, she legit is kind of evil. So for her to have an infinite library in which she can choose one spell of her liking, I think it would be actually interesting for a character with that mentality to have that power. Because it's one thing, Fern having, it's Fern. She's not going to use it for bad. I want someone who's going to use it for bad to get that power too, to make things interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that would be really cool just to see an evil first class mage just like, yeah, I'm first class, but I'm a bad lady.
Mm-hmm.
And I know your track record is with bad ladies.
Well, hopefully she don't die.
Yeah. now that once again, if that happens, then Gege's definitely influenced this character.
I can't even say gay because it's just me. Death just follows the characters I like.
True, but I will never forgive him for what he did to Nobara, ever.
Man, what could have been?
What could have been? What could have been?
I'm 100% quoting that out of context. I want someone to get that power for bad. I mean, I'll stand by that. But yeah, that is it for Frieren, I believe. Definitely some interesting developments with this episode. Conclusion of the first round. I'm excited to see what happens in the second round. I'm really looking forward to what they do in the second round, because and I don't know if it's only going to be 2 rounds or whatever, but yeah, I just want to see the format to see how things are going to shape up with all these teams and who can match up with who and all of this stuff. Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do. I want a tournament at some point though. I want a classic knockout tournament, just straight fighting.
I love the tournament style. It doesn't matter what anime it is. I just love it. Well, I was about to say, it's hard to mess it up, but...
It is hard. It is really hard to mess up tournaments.
But listen, that one show that we watched on this anime fucked it up greatly. And I can't remember its name.
Do you remember what year it happened?
It was the same year that... I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. I think it was 2020, maybe 2021. Let me hold on. As soon as I type it. I bet I'll find it. Let's see. Anime. I remember it was like spring or summer.
It was like a fighting show?
I think so. Was it 2021 or 2020? No, it was 2020.
I'm looking.
Okay.
Now.
Here it is. And as soon as I send this, yeah. The God of High School.
Oh my God. Oh.
They fucked that up so badly. You have the blueprints to make an not an amazing anime, but a serviceable anime, because like we just said, it's hard to fuck something up like that when you have tournament stuff like that. But they did it with this anime.
They fucked it up because they went into it immediately. There was no build up. They just went into it.
Right. And we had Stans and this ass character that didn't know anything about like fighting and shit.
I remember that one guy that was just punching with one hand. That was funny.
Oh yeah.
Just
yeah, that whole series was, and everybody, I don't know. I didn't like the character designs either. Like, I feel like the character designs they looked like they always had like
the runny nose,
some kind of the runny nose. It was the fucking noses. Like they always looked like they were sick. Yeah, but that's the only one that I could say fucked it up.
Yeah, it's really hard to mess up tournaments. I just feel that for what it does usually is it serves as a great backdrop to introduce new characters, immediately set you up for dopamine with a lot of fights, to just continuous, because like, oh, if you don't like this fight, oh, another fight coming up. It just great situation in general to put you up for, and then it can arbitrarily raise or lower stakes very easily, because in one fight you could have settings to where death doesn't need to be a consequence of the fight, whereas like if you're fighting someone in a war situation, it's hard for me to believe that you're going to fight someone and not go for a kill. But in a tournament, I could see why that won't happen, or it doesn't happen, because you can have a ring out, timeout, all these different things that come into play. It's a really easy format for shonen mangaka to do. Yeah, it's really hard to mess up. Hunter x Hunter doesn't mess it up. Yu Yu Hakusho, Dragon Ball, Naruto, anything you want to name. Yep,
absolutely.
But it is time to eat.
We gonna eat? What you making?
Oh no, the question is, what is Lyos making? Because we are talking about Delicious in Dungeon. Episode 5.
So we got a little bit more of the sister in this episode. We got to see what she could do. She's blind, sister, so she never opens her eyes, but she's a mage.
I mean, she's voiced by Yori, though.
Yep.
And Yumiko.
She's a Sayori.
Mm-hmm.
That is our girl. She has that soft-spoken voice that she always has in her characters. But yeah, she had a little bit of flashbacks here and there, talking about how great she was. We got in the episode, we got kind of like an introduction to other adventurers, but then it was just all kind of just like, well, they're dead because they got some gold.
I don't believe they're dead. I just don't believe it.
You think they'll come back?
Here's my reason for thinking they're not dead. For one, their bodies were pretty intact. Like, it wasn't like, oh, a head was missing, or it was some gaping wound in their body or something like that. So that's one reason. And then two, and this is kind of, I guess, a petty reason to think this, but I feel like the character designs were too polished for them to throw it away. Especially Reen, like the red hooded girl. I feel like they put too much into that design just to go, hey, here's some adventurers, and then they died. Because that wasn't even really a great segue to get what we got with the treasure coins being like monsters. I feel like
bugs.
I feel like they're trying to trick you into thinking they only had those adventurers show up for the sole purpose of having that plot line of these coins that they discovered actually be monsters. I think they're actually alive. I think they're alive.
Okay. If we never see him again, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be like, what was the point of all that?
Yeah.
But in this episode, we got that, and then we saw, these gold ruby pieces, they're actually bugs. So let's destroy them. And also, let's do what the show does most. Let's cook them.
Oh.
Let's cook these coins. Since she separated the edible ones from the non-edible ones, he didn't say that they were actual coins and rubies, because that's when Chilchuck was like, you want me to just throw away these non-edible ones? Yeah, go ahead. Why are these not edible? Well, because you normally can't eat coins and rubies, as he fucking threw it off the side. And I was like, you dumb ass.
Shinshi has to be like, we talk about like how Frieren doesn't have any like social skills, and Shinshi, the thing about Shinshin, he has those skills, but he just chooses not to use it. He's like, willfully ignorant isn't a word. He's willfully
stupid.
Willfully stupid, willfully like apathetic. He doesn't give a fuck about anything.
Yeah. I swear the guy was like a homeless man in his past life, because when I don't know about you, if I was to look at those gold and rupees and everything else like that, taking them with me. I'm gonna, whenever I get back to the main gates, stop eating all these dungeons and buy myself a fucking steak. You know what I mean? But no, not him. This guy would rather eat stuff off of a dirt, mossy monster's back than eat something that's, frame broiled and delicious. No, just. The second he did that, I would have tossed his ass over too. Like seriously, it would have been just one of those. Oh, the non-edible ones were actually fucking gold.
I don't get it, man. I just don't understand what is wrong with this dude.
That would have been the last time I ever saw that man. I would have chucked him all the way over. And then Leos would have been like, "But he's the guy that I don't give a fuck what he cooks. We could have had fresh food for years, but no. We had to throw away this goddamn stuff."
Yeah, that was a lot of money too. But
yeah, it was.
I mean, to kind of go back on things, so one little thing that we got from the new party, I wrote down some of the characters' names. Only got 3 of them: Kabru, Reen, and Meek Bell. The leader is Kabru, brown skinned guy with the blue eyes. We saw their group for very briefly, and really the only thing that we got from them is that they also strive to take down the magician in this dungeon. Obviously, they didn't get that far because they were taken out by these coin monster things. But I kind of wonder if I believe they're alive. If they come back, I wonder if they're going to end up not joining this group that we're in now, but aiding them in some way. Because if that's our goal, to take down this magician, I think there's room for them to come in at a different point or at a different floor of this dungeon, because they still have their own aspirations to take out this magician. And I think eventually we're going to make that our goal once we take out this dragon, or whenever we save Flame. But
Yeah.
yeah, they started to miss Flame, and it was good that they actually thought about her character.
Yeah. I was wondering when that was going to happen. I thought for sure they didn't give a fuck about this character. They were just going around eating shit, worrying about, dumbass stuff. It's not important. But they were like, man, I miss this girl. She was great. She was so tender. She was so sweet. She was a great mage. Actually talked about her character.
Yeah.
I was like, finally. It only took us 5 episodes, but finally.
Yeah.
Stuff I feel like that should have been there at least by the 2nd episode.
Yeah. Very gentle character, which I guess that was kind of included just with her saving Laos the way she did, because she got everybody out of there, but didn't save herself, so that just shows you her selflessness. But yeah, we got that little flashback of her hugging the zombified ghost possessed guy. Shows you just because she could have just exorcised the ghost and killed it, but she decided to expel the ghost out of the guy's body, kind of just asking him to release him. So yeah, it shows you how gentle and kind she is. And kind of too just what they're missing from that party, because nobody in that party is just nice, really.
Yeah, everybody's kind of just out for themselves, really.
Yeah.
Laos is maybe the only one that's kind of not, but he's very... What's the word?
He's not
stupid.
Dependable.
Okay, yeah. He's dependable and not smart. He's definitely dumb. Marcel, she don't want to eat any of this shit, and it seems like she's not even happy being in that group, so I don't even know why she's there. Chilchuck is just kind of along for the ride. He's just like, whatever, I'm here. But yeah, Fallen. Wait, is it Fallen or Phelan?
They were in a show. They were calling her Flame, even though it's not spelt that way. That's what they were calling her in the show.
Okay, Flame. She's definitely the sweet one of the group. I feel like she's almost, even though we haven't really seen their interactions all together as a group, maybe the glue that kind of keeps them all together, Yeah. Because she's the sweet one. You have friends, you have the ones that, they're the cool people of their groups or whatever, but then you have the one that's kind of like maybe the mediator, where everybody gets everyone together. It's like, come on, y'all. Let's go ahead and let's do this. They kind of like keep everybody in line, keep them in track. I feel like that's who she was.
Yeah, because we don't really have anybody that's too mature in the group. Chilchuck is probably the most mature, but he doesn't have a lot of authority within the group. And then after him,
really listens to him.
Yeah, after him, Shinshi is kind of mature too, but there are times where he just
is a dumbass.
Yeah, where he's completely stupid. Yeah, so this team is just very dysfunctional, and it seems like they're in need of a character like Flame. But you have insensitive Laos, who says this about his own sister. He says,
"Oh my god."
He says, maybe it was a good thing that she's not here, because if she was here, we wouldn't have got to eat this delicious food. And
even Shinshi, who's a freaking dumbass, said, dude, maybe you should have kept that to yourself.
That's what made the scene so funny for me, because if he just said that and it was only Marciel and Chilchuck who reacted, I'm glad that they also had Shinshi react the way he did, because we know how bad he is with social cues. Even he said, bro, why would you say that? This is the same guy who decided, because forget the whole money thing in this episode. This is the same guy who basically the orcs came through and he didn't tell them that they were trading with orcs. They had him thinking
Right,
the whole
right.
time that they were about to trade with human merchants. He didn't tell them that, yeah, the guy that we're trading with is actually an orc, and we may
They're
have some
bloodthirsty
issues.
orcs that, pillage all these villages and they kill people, murder,
Yeah.
all that good stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't mention anything like that, but even he understands, yeah, that's probably like a stupid thing to say.
Yeah, you're wrong for that. that's what he was saying.
And that's your sister too, so what? Why would you say that?
Yeah, I kind of thought that was something that, he shouldn't have said. Because I was thinking the same thing. I totally forgot that he even said that till you said that. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's a dumbass. I feel like there's a lot of dumbasses in this show.
Yeah. It's like Konosuba going to, it's like that party going into a dungeon.
It kind of is, except they don't have the charm that Konosuba does. They're all dumbasses, but they have their charm.
I feel like I don't think they're as endearing as the Konosuba cast, just because this show does this comedy here and there, but I don't think it's as funny as Konosuba.
Oh no.
But I think
not even close.
I think these characters have their own charm about them. Just that I think Konosuba is a high pedestal to put them on in terms of the characters being likable and endearing.
Yeah.
I'll give them time.
Yeah. I feel like one of the things that was the most marketable in this whole show was the fact that they made exorcism ice cream.
Oh yeah.
It almost looked like rainbow sherbet. And I could totally see like a vendor in Japan that if it was something like that was selling this anime and being like, oh, have some exorcism ice cream. It's totally sellable and marketable that you could eat today. Because you couldn't do that stuff with have some scorpion tail stir fry, have some of this crap. At least with that, you could at least market it. Nothing is marketable in this show.
Exorcism ice cream. And then before that, when he made like the holy water, the makeshift holy water, he just started swinging it at him. I thought he was going to like spray it across the room, just wrap it.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Just use it like the blaze of chaos. Like I put.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of strange too, but then it made sense with the okay, they did it so that they could make ice cream. Okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was that pretty much the episode?
Pretty much it. These things always go by quick because they focus so much on the food aspect.
Yeah.
I know maybe one thing we kind of didn't touch on, and maybe I could touch on it really quick, was the thing that's in Laos' sword.
Oh, the monster sword.
The little monster thing.
Yeah.
It controls him to like protect him from evil, I see, but also he's hiding it from everybody else, which is, again, why this guy is dumb. It's gonna like consume him when he's not paying attention. It'd just be like, this sword is me now.
I don't really understand why he's hiding that from them. Sure, they might be scared, but these guys are eating monsters. I don't think they'll be that scared that they will just stay away from him. I don't understand why he's keeping that much, or why he feels compelled to keep that secret that much. But
yeah, does he feel like, what does he think's gonna happen? Is he gonna get in trouble? Does he think that
go in the corner?
Right.
Okay.
Sit, Lyle, sit in that corner right now. How dare you get a little monster and put it in your sword without telling us?
I didn't mean to.
Yeah, because that's the thing I just don't get. It's like, why hide it? Why not just say, this thing just hooked onto my sword and it actually kind of saved us from getting attacked by these monster rupees?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just kind of something to... It's like, what happened? It just kind of looked evil. No, just fucking tell the truth.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, it was reacted to the monster, so that's something to take note of, I guess. And then he also named it Kinsuke for whatever reason. So there's that.
Because he likes the name Ken, or Kenny, if he's still watching.
Kenny.
You are now a sword.
But I think that's it for Delicious and Dungeon. Pretty easy episode to talk about. Oh, we also didn't do the killer pass thing for Frieren, but I'm pretty sure based on how we talked about it.
Yeah, it's a pass. Definitely a pass.
Hold on, I gotta.
Oh yeah, you gotta put it up.
Yeah, I gotta put the screen.
Okay,
up.
hold on.
Oh no, not that screen. That screen. The actual like pass screen.
Okay.
Oh wait, that's the kill screen. Abort the mission.
No, abort the mission.
Oh. Okay, that was close.
Oh my god. We almost had to go back and kill Frieren. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, if we ran through with that, we would have had to actually kill it, y'all.
I mean, it's once it's said, it can never be taken back.
Nope. What is dead may never die. Wait, I don't think that's right. People die when they're killed.
Isn't that a quote from Game of Thrones?
What is dead?
What is dead?
Yeah, that's
may
the
never die.
That's the Greyjoys.
That's what I thought. Man, their inauguration to get a new king into there is kind of dumb. They drown him, and if they survive being drowned by spitting up the seawater, then they're the new king. Bet they lost a lot of kings that way.
Hey, they got a lot of strong kings though that way too.
Very true.
Eon Greyjoy. But it is time, guys, to get into questions and kind of close things out.
Viewer questions. It is time for viewer
questions. You'll have to tell C next week. Yeah, we killed Frieren by accident. Yeah, my bad. No, you were looking forward to it.
I know you watched all these episodes and everything by the time you got back and all, but we kind of sort of maybe accidentally killed Frieren. Dude, we should totally say that just as a joke.
And we just we just got fed up. Fuck this show.
We'll tell him, we'll be like, see, this past episode of Frieren was not that good, so we kind of killed it. You did what?
But why? All right, I guess I'll take the first one. Which type of villain is better in your opinion? A, perfect being like Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. B, pure evil like Sukuna from Jujutsu Kaisen. C, broken hero like Pain from Naruto Shippuden. Or D, manipulator like Aizen from Bleach. So which is your brand of villain?
Yeah, that is a good question. To me, there's just something cool and just so terrifying about a villain that's pure evil. And the only reason I say that is because it can't be reasoned with. Usually, you know, they're just doing it for kicks, just because they're pure evil. You know, as they say in The Dark Knight, some people can't be bought. They just want to watch the world burn. And to me, that kind of evil and that kind of villain is just always so interesting to me, just to see how they got to that point in their life to where they just became pure evil, whether they be a demon or a person. It's interesting. I like that kind of archetype.
For me, I would go with D, manipulator. It's something a little more personal about somebody that kind of navigates their evil in a way that moves the masses in like a smart way. Not because you could be pure evil and still be a manipulator, but if we're talking about kind of the archetypes of it, I think I'm more fond of people who play this chess game of their villainy rather than the other one's name. But I mean, there's probably good examples of all these archetypes, but that's what I would go with in general.
Nice. Okay, next question. Which character looks good with light blue hair? A. Rem from ReZero, B. Lance from MASH, Magic and Muscle, Miwa from Jujutsu Kaisen, or Himo from Frieren. For me, out of these four, I gotta go with Rem, just because it's Rem.
Because it's
Also,
you.
Miwa, useless fucking Miwa that powered up her sword and didn't do shit.
All right. She looks good with light blue hair though. I'll go with Himmel though. Himmel. Yeah, D Himmel. Next question: who would be the weakest character if A. Gojo if he didn't have Infinity, B. Naruto if he didn't have Kurama, C. Goku if he wasn't a Saiyan, or B. Luffy if he had no Devil Fruit ability? Who would be the weakest character?
Luffy would be very weak without Devil Fruit.
No,
You don't think so?
I understand why you say
I
that.
feel like
EA.
the Devil Fruit makes him strong.
I know why you say this, EA, but it like in the current story of One Piece, Luffy is not weak without a Devil Fruit. He's exponentially stronger with it, but he's not weak with it or without it.
Huh.
So okay, we kind of gotta look at this in the context of the show. I definitely think it's not Luffy because he has other things other than Devil Fruit. Gojo, if he didn't have Infinity, he still has red, blue, purple. What the fuck?
Right. He's pretty strong.
So it's not Gojo.
No.
Goku, if he wasn't a Saiyan, is still a good martial artist. But that would if he wasn't a Saiyan. Here's the thing: if he wasn't a Saiyan, he could still manipulate ki. So it doesn't really matter. He's not going to be as strong as he was or is.
Right.
But he still could be like, think about a character like Videl. Videl didn't train nearly as hard as Goku, and she was still able to take out like Spopovich before the steroids and stuff.
Right. And she kicked a freaking punching bag through in the sand, just right through it, just by herself doing that.
And then you could look at a character like Tien, who is I know like they later on he said he was like some alien species, or you can even say Yamcha. Yamcha doesn't train as hard as Goku, and he's still pretty strong. So Goku is still strong without being a Saiyan. Honestly, all these characters are pretty strong even without, because Naruto's still strong without Kurama. But I'm gonna go with, because the thing about Naruto is if he didn't have Kurama, it depends on where he would be at. If we're talking about adult Naruto, then he doesn't need Kurama. I would say within their universe,
drum roll, please.
You know what? I'm gonna say within their universe, I'm gonna go with what you said initially, EA. Luffy.
All right.
Just because although Luffy has all this things going for him, the level of opponents that he's fighting currently, if he didn't have his Devil Fruit, then he'll be fucked. Because he does rely on it pretty heavily, and I don't know how he would look if he didn't have it, because he would have to actually know how to fight. So I'll go with D. I had to actually think about that.
That was a good question. Awesome.
Yeah.
Out of these four, who is your favorite anime duo? Mikey and Draken from Tokyo Revengers. Skip. Denji and Power, Chainsaw Man. C. Gojo and Geto from Jujutsu Kaisen. Or D. Bakugo and Deku from My Hero Academia.
Ooh.
So we already narrowed down A is non-existent in any of our worlds, so that's out. Denji Power, Gojo Geto, and Bakugo Deku. Favorite anime duo. I feel like Power's an asshole. And so is Denji, but I don't know. Power just, I don't know. I'm sure they're funny, but as far as my favorite, not my favorite. I'll go with Bakugo and Deku. Just cause they're pretty powerful and they kind of like bounce off of one another. Even though Bakugo's basically a hothead, but Deku, he keeps that friendship intact for sure. Calls him Bachan and everything. He's like, "Stop calling me Bachan."
I would, if I had to pick a duo, I would go with Denji and Power. I think, yeah, I would go with Denji and Power. I just like them as a duo. They're I mean, you already mentioned that they're just hilarious. I had to say this. Operation
my power.
Super Smart. Just idiots. Yeah, they're pretty enjoyable as a duo, so I had to go with them. Next question though, if you had to choose one person to go with on a desert island, or is it desert?
Yeah, desert island. Yeah, no, dessert. You know how I remember that? Dessert, you always want more than one. Dessert is with 2 S's.
Okay, desert island. Who would you choose? A. Mitsuru, Demon Slayer. B. Eren, Attack on Titan. Not final.
Not final. Well, what if we want final version?
You can't have them. We're out of that.
Oh no, that's not an option.
C. Nobara, Jujutsu Kaisen. Dead or alive? Which one? Or D. Denji, Chainsaw Man. Wait,
just go to a deserted island with dead Nobara. It's like, hey Nobara, how's life? That's fascinating.
Sunlight just peering through her whole wound in her eye.
Right. You just see the glistening, and it's starting to stink. I don't think I like this Nobara anymore.
What are these options though? Like, these options don't correlate, other than they're all being like shonen series. They don't correlate.
Yeah. I mean, well, if I can't get final Eren and I get Crybaby Eren, Nobara, well, dead Bara, and then Denji is a freaking pervert. Maybe Mitsuri, just because she seemed like she would be nice, at least just nice. Because when you're on a deserted island, the only thing I think of is maybe the movie Castaway, and you kind of need help, and you're stranded, and you're just like, help, and then you get a volleyball and called Wilson, just like having friends with it. But you won't have to have a volleyball this time. Instead, you have Mitsuri.
I mean, Mitsuri kind of annoys me a little.
She is a bit obnoxious, but come on. She's the love Hashira. She'll love you.
I don't want love. I want to survive.
I want to survive.
I'm gonna go with Denji on this one. Would Eren be a good person? Eren probably. They probably both stink though. Yeah, I'm gonna just go with Denji. He'll at least be useful.
Yeah, he would cut down some coconut trees.
Yeah.
Just.
Wait.
All right.
Okay.
Next one. Next question. Imagine a fight in front of your eyes. Who would you trust the most? A. Zenitsu. B. Yor. C. Yuji from Jujutsu Kaisen. Or D. Mikasa from Attack on Titan. Who would I trust the most with a fight in front of my eyes? I mean, do I know these people? Or is there like a fight going on and I'm just like, oh my god, there's a fight happening right in front of my eyes. I don't think I trust that person.
I don't really understand this too much. Who would I trust the most? I mean, I guess Mikasa? I don't know.
Right, she seems to be very trusting.
I just feel like Yor may fight somebody and I don't know. It'll be some collateral damage or something because she's.
I definitely don't trust Zenitsu and his scared, annoying ass.
Yeah. Yuji's pretty reliable too.
Yeah.
So, but Yuji's friends keep dying, so Mikasa's friends keep dying too.
Right. So you couldn't be friends with any of them, except maybe Yor.
I'll still go with Mikasa.
All right, Mikasa it is.
All right. Who's winning this one-on-one fight? A, Yor, or B, Mikasa?
I feel like Yori is just super powerful. I mean, Mikasa is great with her gear and just.
Yor is like superhuman strength.
You're right. Like she. I mean, you saw it with one hand, just the test of strength. Boom! Just smashes the whole thing.
Yeah, I know the
I don't think
Ackermans
Mikasa
are.
can do that.
I know the Ackermans are pretty crazy too, but like when I say like superhuman, she's literally a superhuman.
Yeah, I mean, you can shred cheese off of Mikasa's abs. Yor doesn't have any abs, but she is just ridiculously strong.
Yeah,
So, yeah, Yor wins.
she was able to tame a bull by just hitting some pressure points. Just
Uh-huh. And then her excuse was, I saw it in National Geographic or something, whatever she said.
I just read about it in a book.
Yeah. I read it in Rolling Stone. Next question. Who would you go on a trip with? We went from deserted island, now we're going on a trip.
Okay.
Anya from Spy Family.
And out.
Nanami from Jujutsu Kaisen, Power from Chainsaw Man, or D. Eren from Attack on Titan.
Oh,
I'm going on a trip with Nanami.
Yeah, for
absolutely.
Sure. Eren stinks, Power stinks, and Anya's a child. Nanami.
Correct. Two stinky people and feral demons, and it's like, where's your child? Go home to your mother.
Yeah. Definitely Nanami.
Yep. Nobody deserves to go on a trip more.
Oh yeah, that's true. He needs a vacation. He's gonna get one now in hell.
He didn't go to hell.
He probably did. I'm gonna be honest. He probably did.
He went to hell.
He may have. I don't know if there's
heaven?
I don't know if there's a heaven or hell in Jujutsu Kaisen. So I don't know.
I'm gonna say he went to heaven. He's with his friend.
That is good thinking, positive thinking. He's going to need it in hell. Imagine you're an important person of the country. Who would you like to hire as a bodyguard? A. Tanjiro, B. Levi, C. Yuji, or D. Lloyd? I think this is pretty easy for me. I'll go with B or D. Lloyd. Just because if we're talking about like in a real world situation, I would like to have someone who is a master of disguises help me in any type of covert mission, or even if it's just an incoming enemy. Like he's good for all that type of stuff.
That's pretty good. I gotta go with Levi because I feel like he's just someone that knows his shit. I know Lloyd would be good for the real world. Levi is just a natural kind of like leader. He's like just say if you had like, he's just like the head bodyguard and he has like all these other guys around him. People would take that bullet for him. You know, he would lead a charge, be like, set a perimeter over there, set a perimeter over there. We need people over there. Go. And they would do it. So I'll go with Levi.
Okay.
Next question. Who wins this 1v1? A. Human Garo from One Punch Man, or B. Toji from Jujutsu Kaisen? That's Lava Head.
No, Toji's the deadbeat dad.
Fuck, that's right. I feel like Toji's pretty strong.
If you're
Human Garo.
If we're talking about Toji with all his abilities, and yeah, I'm gonna go with Toji.
Yeah,
that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, he's pretty strong.
Yeah. Who would be the most effective diplomat in the fantasy world? A. Tyrion Lannister, B. Elrond, Lord of the Rings, C. Princess Leia, or D. Albus Dumbledore?
I'll have to go with, this is just bias, Tyrion Lannister, not final season. Tyrion Lannister. He just was so Yeah, he was the best at getting himself out of any kind of situation by talking, and I feel like he would be a great diplomat in that situation as well. He would be perfect at talking.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow suit. Tyrion Lannister.
All right, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Who does bald best? Roshi, Krillin, or Tien? Tien's pretty cool bald. Gotta go with Tien.
Yeah, I'll go with Tien too. I can't really imagine Tien with hair.
No, me neither. Krillin, we know he shaves his head, and Roshi, I feel like we've always known him bald, but Roshi is Roshi.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen hair with hair though. Roshi looks good with hair.
Oh yeah, when he plays Jackie Chun. That's right.
Which character has the most epic transformation? A. Neo. D. Katniss Everdeen. C.
No
Bruce
idea who that is.
Wayne. Or D. Peter Parker. Katniss Everdeen.
I'm gonna look that up. Katniss Everdeen. Katniss Everdeen. Oh, from the Hunger Games. I never got into those.
I watched one movie of it, but it wasn't even like the first movie.
Yeah, I never got into those.
The most epic transformation?
I mean, first of all, do they transform in Hunger Games? Or do they just mean like as a character? Like they started as this and then they grew.
I don't know. When I think of transformations, I think like the actual physical act of transforming.
I think of Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
I think of Super Saiyan. I think of stuff like that. But I don't know. Probably because I guess I have to rethink it. Not transformation, more just like growth. If anything, I'd have to go with Bruce Wayne. Went from being, an orphan kid to just fighting crime and giving back to his Gotham. So, Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I'll go with Bruce Wayne too.
Okay, next question. Ichigo runs the gauntlet. Where is he stopping? Tanjiro, Demon Slayer, Denji, Chainsaw Man, Deku, My Hero Academia, Luffy, One Punch Man, Naruto, and Goku. So where does he stop? Obviously,
I think he's getting Demon Slayer. He's getting up to Luffy pretty easy. Because Tanjiro, Denji, and Deku are no threat at all.
Yeah, but when he gets to Luffy, yeah, I agree. I think that's when he'll start to struggle.
I think he can beat Luffy. The issue is characters like Naruto. Like, the characters who are really fast like that. And I don't really know how that whole power... Because they're different series, of course. I don't know how that power thing is going to work. But I'll probably say he stops at Naruto. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you? Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'll just go with Luffy. He'll gum him to death.
All right.
Because he's got no teeth.
Who's winning this 1v1? Akainu or Endeavor? So you don't know who Akainu is?
Yeah, I don't know any of these.
Akainu's beating Akainu's beating the shit out of Endeavor very easily. Like, this is not a fight at all.
All right, second to last question. Sukuna is running the One Punch Man gauntlet. Where is he stopping? I like how none of them show. Okay, here we go. 1 Genos, 2 Silverfang, 3 Tatsumaki, 4 Boros, or 5 Garu Cosmic. Sukuna's running the gauntlet from One Punch Man. Where is he stopping? I think he stops at Boros. Boros was pretty strong. I mean, I know he was dispatched of really easily by Saitama, but I feel like he's one of the more stronger villains that was in the show that was never taken care of. Because if it wasn't for Saitama, I feel like Planet Earth would be fucked.
I'm trying to think if he could beat Tatsumaki. He could beat Genos and Silverfang. I don't know if he could beat Tatsumaki because especially if like what Sukuna we're talking about, but Tatsumaki probably can block those cuts, and then if she does that, she can just lift them up and crush them or something.
Yeah, he just gets crushed and then just. I mean, that would be a good battle, Sukuna and Tatsumaki. Just that alone.
I'll just give him it, and I'll say he stops at Boros. But I'm really not sure if he could beat Tatsumaki, but yeah. All right, last question. This question is for Satsuki and Everything Animated. Good thing those guys are both here. Which alternate ending would you have preferred the most? C. Daenerys took the Iron Throne. B. Cersei won the war. C. King Aegon 6. Jon Snow. Reign begins. Or D. Myths came true nightmare. Night King.
So which ending would we have? Alternate ending would we have preferred?
Mm-hmm.
I saw so many fan theories when before even the ending in the season came out, and there were so many good ones when I heard it. I would have preferred at least 3 of them over the ending that we actually got. Because the ending that we actually got, no. But if I had to choose between these 4, I definitely would have loved to have seen Jon Snow become king. Because that would have just been the perfect kind of bookend to the whole story. Because I know they made Jon Snow, I don't want it, the whole last season. All right, I will do everything. I don't want it. I want this.
She is my auntie.
She is my aunt that I have sex with. Yeah, I do not wish that version of Jon Snow was in the final season because that was awful. But if they kept the, my shift is ended, not shift, but you know what I mean. My time here.
My watch is ended.
My watch is ended.
That's what I got. That's what people got to do. Like when they work at Wendy's. My shift is ended. They just throw the apron down.
Right. So, my shift is ended. I would have loved to have seen that version of Jon Snow go all the way to King's Landing. They had this epic fight with the Night King because Winterfell is done. Everything gets taken from the north. They end up in King's Landing. They have this epic fight. Like I said, I'm just going off a fan theory. Jon wargs himself into a fucking dragon, and then he rides on top of a dragon, just destroy. Oh, that would have been so epic, but we never got that. Yeah, Jon being the king would have been great.
I definitely agree with that too. Just, I don't think I like these other endings. They could be the morbid Cersei winning, but I just don't think that's really fulfilling. If we're talking about the ending, like if it was like a season end, I wouldn't really mind that, but for the ending of the story, I just don't think that really works. Because Game of Thrones is pretty morbid as a story overall, but for the ending of the series, I feel like it has to end on a somewhat good note, and having Cersei win is just bad for everything, really. So yeah, those are the questions. That is it for the podcast, y'all. So we're gonna wrap things up. So I got one question for EA.
Yes, sir. What is it?
Where can they find you?
You can find me over at Everything Animated. I haven't done much on that channel in a while, but I hope to come back to it soon. Here in the next coming years. at this point, I swear to God. No, I should be back on the right track. I'm just a mixture of being lazy and then just being distracted and also being sick, because when you're sick, you don't really feel like doing much of anything. But anyway, we have that right there, the King of Anime Patreon. If you're into Patreon, who am I kidding? To support us so that we can, do a little more things here and there. It's a good way to support the show, our little Patreon. It's only $1, and we have some content on there. And when C Tactics comes back, I'm sure we're going to have a lot more because, it's always good to have that extra content that you won't see anywhere else. Also, we got ourselves a Twitter, to keep up to date on when we go live, because sometimes we don't just go live on Mondays. Sometimes we go live on Tuesdays or weekends, depending on what somebody's doing. So, yeah, follow us there, subscribe, and if you're new, subscribe to this channel. As I said before at the beginning, we are so close to 500 subs, we can almost taste it. This yellow popsicle hits the spot. Okay, Patrick, leave me alone. But yeah, follow me there, do all that good stuff, and see you next time.
I don't know how I could top that last thing. I can almost taste it. One of the creepiest moments in SpongeBob. But
you thought he was licking him too. That's what was so funny.
Satsuki the Savage, of course, you see all the stuff on the screen where you can follow me. Specifically when my Twitch Super Bowl is this week, meaning that I will only stream one day out of the week, that being Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've been playing Ace Attorney. I bought Persona 3 Reloaded. I'm not going to play it yet. I want to wait till the hype dies down because I could play it along with everybody else, but I'd rather wait till other people played it possibly and then watch me play it later. I kind of want everybody to beat it by that time. So I'm probably going to play it 2 months after the release. So around April or even May. But I'm also playing Fire Emblem, doing the new route of that, playing Ace Attorney and Danganronpa Ultra Despair Girls. A lot of things on my Twitch. Tap into that. We have a lot of fun. I don't do those long streams anymore, so if you're intimidated by the length of the streams, don't be, because definitely cut down on that. But for my YouTube, Satsuki the Savage, we also have things popping over there. I released 2 videos thus far in the year. My video talking about White Angels Have No Rest, Obscure Yori series is very toxic, and my recent video talking about the real Nanami Tsubomi from Kakegurui. And I have some more videos with that series, specifically Kakegurui. Couple of things planned to have for my channel. Some things I'm already writing for as we speak. So subscribe to my YouTube channel because I'm trying to make sure I provide on that channel, and I'm gonna make my goal. I promise I'm gonna make my goal. So yeah, that's pretty much it, y'all. Appreciate everybody who showed up. QRW6, Decrepit Storm, Kenny, Sababu, Kenny.
Next week, the return of the tactics.
Yeah, indeed. So
yeah,
until then,
get ready for that.
Yeah, things may look a little different by then.
Right. Things may look a lot different. So say goodbye to this one last time.